Hey guys, I'm Dan Kraus, founder of the Stock Investor Studio, and if you're interested in meme stock trading, the pros and the cons and all the psychology behind it, I've done a full course on it, and I've also carved out this module and video specifically and separately. It's one module within the entire course, the Meme Stock Lingo module, where I break down all the different meanings of the many different quotes, phrases, and abbreviations that you might have heard of on the various different meme pages like the famous Wall Street Bets forum. So if you're interested in my full course or any of my other courses like the A to Z stock market investing course for beginners, check out my website www.stockinvestorstudio.com to find out more. Let's get straight to it. This is chapter 2, module 2, all about meme stock lingo. So I did some research on the Reddit forum Wall Street Bets, and it looks like they were created in 2012 and only really saw a surge of user growth in late 2020, early 2021. The group is now really the overall face of meme stock mania and the home of where most of the memes really start. And as a result, a surge in stock prices of the heavily shorted companies, those like GameStop and AMC Entertainment. So Wall Street Bets Forum has around 8 million members and currently, apparently, hundreds of thousands of active users at any one point in time. Now, in contrast to other investing and stock market sites, Wall Street Bets is by far the most popular place for memes. Now, the language and slang, may seem quite confusing at first and can really intimidate some new users. That's why I've got you covered in this module. So, before venturing onto Wall Street Bets yourself, make sure that you are familiar with the lingo, certain words, certain phrases, and kicking it off with our very first word today, apes. Now, for the most part, if you follow the Wall Street Bets group on any of their platforms and you trade meme stocks and you engage with, others, a certain type of dialogue, then you are considered an ape. And that is often derived by a gorilla emoji, just like this. So if you're interested in meme stocks and you spur others to trade meme stocks, you're part of the ape army. Now, next word is apes strong together. Now, the saying is really derived from an earlier meme based on the movie Rise of the Planet of the Apes. When used on Wall Street Bets or in Wall Street Bets forums, the apes are generally retail investors who are bullish on heavily shorted stocks. Now, if the apes are united, they can usually be strong enough to really outlast, those that are short a specific stock. So in summary, the apes, as they refer to themselves, are the retail investors buying the meme stocks. Next word is ape bulls. Now, a bullish investor who thinks a stock or the market will increase in value, that's quite straightforward. Those that comment on Wall Street Bets forums get tons of praise and likes, for bullish comments and statements. Then we have what we call ape bears. Now, a bear investor who thinks a stock or the market will decrease or a meme stock will depreciate in value, they are not well liked among many of the Wall Street Bets group and other apes. And quite often, I've seen this many times, they actually get quite a lot of verbal abuse in the chat comment section. So if you're going to be bearish and negative on one of the ape stock favorites, be aware and just know that you're really opening yourself up to, some form of internet abuse and or criticism. Next word is buy high, sell low. So this is typically a joke because you're supposed to be buying low and selling high, right? So buy high, sell low is often used on these Reddit forums. It's typically, as I said, a joke when a user posts their losses on the group chat. Now, if an investor lost money on a trade, they were said to have bought high and sold low. A play, of course, on the all too obvious financial advice, which is to be buying low and selling high. Next word is buy the dip. Quite straightforward again for users bullish on a stock. A price drop is simply an opportunity for meme stock traders to buy the dip. So if a meme stock specifically are lower on a specific trading day, the apes will suggest that you come in and buy the dip and keep adding to your investment. Now, generally speaking, this is not a great idea. You don't want to be adding to losing stock positions. So next one is one of the most popular, one of the most famous memes, to the moon. Right, so probably, as I said, the biggest meme abbreviation or word rather, to the moon amongst meme traders, usually accompanied by a lot of different rocket ship emojis like this. Now the phrase is used to express confidence in the performance of a chosen stock, and when a stock goes to the moon, the user has earned what we call more attendees, which I'll explain shortly as well. So companies that are or were going to the moon include GameStop and AMC and other stocks. Now it must be said, I for one have said numerous times that going to the moon is not reality. You know, it's funny I say that now after good old Jeff Bezos literally just went to the moon. Him and Richard Branson were just at the moon. But generally speaking, you know, things don't go to the moon. Stocks don't go to the moon. They don't go up in a straight line. So if you're lucky enough, when I say lucky, I mean really lucky enough to own a stock, a meme stock that somewhat goes somewhere to the moon and has a huge rally and you're up 50% or 100% or more, please do me a favor and do yourself and do your bank balance a favor. Lock in some of your profits along the way. It's inevitable that you will give back some of your gains, so be smart about it. Don't give back all your gains. You know, when a stock has, like I said, somewhat gone to the moon, like 50% in a day, and the following day it's up some 30% or even more, take profits. It's a must. Also, as a side note, just remember quickly that if you have very short-term gains, which are considered 1 year or less, those are going to be considered as short-term capital gains. If you lock those in, you're going to be liable to pay tax at your personal tax bracket. Next up, we have the rocket emojis. I quickly touched on them earlier. Quite straightforward. It's an emoji just like this. Quite simply means when someone or meme traders or the apes want a stock to skyrocket, they usually put these all over the page, all over the meme. So just look out for rocket ship emojis. Next up, we have another very, very big important one used all the time, very common. One of the most important phrases among meme traders is diamond hands. Now, diamond hands meaning continuing to really hold a stock despite losses, adversity and or volatility. If you're diamond hands, a meme stock trader, you're confident that the price will increase over time. Now the phrase is really represented by a combination of diamond hand and emojis just like these right here. Now when GameStop shares traded wildly, you know, there were calls for everyone to have diamond hands. Now, in other words, so if you held a diamond, as an example, in your hand and you were to walk through the street, you're going to squeeze as tight as you can and you're not going to let go. Same with the stock. You're going to grab onto the stock. You're not going to sell it. You're not going to ever let go of it. Diamond hands, you've got to keep it for as long as possible or forever. So you've got to keep it safe. You've got to keep it protected and not sell. The term is probably, as I said, one of the most popular phrases within the meme stock world. So diamond hands are people who own and hold the stock indefinitely. Then you have what we call paper hands. Now this is obviously the complete opposite of diamond hands. Paper hands is when a so-called investor or a buyer of a meme stock sell their shares at the very first sign of a downward trend. Now it's used in a derogatory manner toward those who are not fully committed to a stock or a meme position. Those that post screenshots of their sales of a stock usually also get a lot of abuse and referred to as weak. You know, they didn't hold the line, which we'll talk about next. You know, they have no diamond hands, but rather paper hands. So the next one we have is an abbreviation. It's HODL, just like this. It means and stands for hold on for dear life. Now again, HOLD would be held on for dear life, but it's HODL, has now become a massive meme. It sometimes really signifies ignore the volatility and just hold, regardless of what happens, just HODL for life. It can be about whatever security is mentioned in that context. Next up, we have hold the line. Now this is really a battle cry for users during, you know, volatility in the markets. You know, when stocks, you know, favored by the forum began to drop, and there were appeals from everyone on the Reddit sites to hold the line became quite common. Now this was often seen in conjunction with diamond hands and to the moon emojis. In summary, it just means do not sell. Stand strong, stand your ground, and just show how powerful we are as an army, as the Reddit army, the apes, right? Just think of, you know, all the all the soldiers, lining up in a line. I can just picture like Mel Gibson shouting, "Hold, hold, hold," in the movie Braveheart, right? So hold the line means, just be a Braveheart and do not sell. Now, next up we have DD. DD is short for due diligence and is really defined as an investigation of a potential investment, like a stock. Generally speaking, DD would be doing things like reviewing a company's financial records and statements, looking at their, quarterly earnings results and what they're guiding to in the future for their next reporting period, looking at just company performance and metrics and valuation levels, and looking at analyst recommendations, among other things. Now, this would allow you to make a rational investment decision. Now, my take, and the Reddit people or the Reddit army or the apes don't agree with me and they dislike me probably if I put things like this and I say things like this out loud. Many disagree and actually give me abuse. But my take is that many, if not most, meme stock investors do not do any due diligence. Rather, they rely on the rest of the apes to, HODL and, hold the line and just buy regardless and do not sell. They rely on that, rather than doing their due diligence. Next up, we have a very funny word. It's actually called stonks. A stonk is a deliberate misspelling of stocks as traded in the stock market. It is quite often used to refer to such stocks and finance more generally in a humorous or ironic way, and especially to comment on certain financial losses. So sometimes, features meme man, which is this guy over here, in certain memes. So just look out for this meme man. It's usually a play, and they mention the word stonks, usually associated around negative company earnings and so forth. Next one is another abbreviation. It is FUD, just like this over here. If you see this abbreviation, it means fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Again, FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So it could be said that someone who has paper hands has FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Also, if you think about it like this, a lot of Bitcoin followers advise to HODL, right? Your coins, your Bitcoins, despite the FUD of those outside the community. So in other words, hold on to your Bitcoins despite the fear, uncertainty, and doubt of those non-believers in Bitcoin. Right, we got 2 or 3 more. The next one is bag holder. Now, a bag holder is someone who has taken heavy losses on a specific stock. Perhaps they bought the meme stock really, really late in the cycle before it came down. They typically, have hefty losses on their books. And at the end of the hype, after the stock has already possibly had its short squeeze, they buy and hope that it's going to continue to go to the moon, but it doesn't. And they are called the bag holders. So instead of the stock keeping on going to the moon, the stock sinks. And those that bought in late are considered to be the bag holders. They got caught holding the bag. So be careful. You don't want to be the bag holder. Next up is tendies. Now, tendies means money or profit. Now, when a stock goes up, the investor has acquired what we call as tendies. If the stock goes down, quite the opposite, then the investor has lost tendies. Now, I don't see this one too often. I have seen it a few times in the comments section on the Wall Street Bets pages and so forth. Just keep an eye so you know what tendies are. Right, next up, I think this is going to be the last one for this section, is YOLO. Now, we all know this with regard to many other, walks of life. More commonly, it means you only live once. When used in the Wall Street Bets page, a YOLO trade is one that makes up the vast majority of the value of an entire investor's account. Please don't do this. Please, trust me, do not do this. Do not put a vast majority of your investment into one particular meme stock or into many different meme stocks. That's not the way you want to build your wealth over the long period of time. We'll talk about that more later. Putting $100, into GameStop is not a YOLO trade, but putting $100,000, for example, is a YOLO trade. There's actually one really well-known prominent trader on the Wall Street Bets forum. He invested, I think, over $750,000 in GameStop. Everyone was calling him the YOLO trader. At one point, his position was worth millions and millions of dollars. That's it for this module. Hope you've enjoyed it and learned some of the meme stock lingo. We'll see you in the next module.